Well, you've watched them right here on the news. In fact, high-speed police chases, we see them all the time. But what you don't always see are the injuries and the deaths, things that happened during these pursuits.
Yeah, this has a consequence. And tonight, as a new federal report calls on law enforcement to reduce those pursuits, our investigative reporter Brian New is digging deep into the consequences of police chases and the consequences of not chasing.
We're going to be going westbound at 2500 Whitecliff.
It happens thousands of times in Texas each year. Suspects flee.
And he's going 35 southbound.
And police chase them. These pursuits can be dangerous.
He just wrecked out at the Royal Lane exit.
And often end in a crash. At times, a deadly crash.
And that's about the worst situation that we can have right now.
The number of people in Texas killed yearly in crashes involving a police chase has been on the rise, with more than twice as many deaths in 2021 than a decade prior. It's a trend seen across the country. Nearly a third of those killed, according to studies, are innocent bystanders.
And we're talking about an innocent person who was going about the business of their day.
In 2012, James Williford was headed to the bank. In 2018, Gaudencia Meza was sitting at a stoplight in the stockyards. And in July, Andre Craig was on his way to make a life insurance payment.
And in the process of doing that, he was killed. He was killed.
None of them had anything to do with why police were chasing, but all found themselves blindsided and killed by a pursuit.
Is it necessary to be going over 100 miles an hour in a densely populated urban area when you can harm innocent motorists and pedestrians?
On East on 360.
Families have questioned whether police chases are worth the risk and are advocating for department policies that would limit when officers could engage in a high-speed pursuit.
I think what we aim for is policies that are progressive and only chasing for violent felony crimes when there's not a better way to apprehend the suspect.
A new report released in September by the federal government is urging law enforcement agencies to only start a pursuit if a violent crime has been committed and the suspect poses an imminent threat.
Do you think that's a good policy?
I think it's a good policy for some agencies.
But not for all?
I don't believe it's a good policy for all agencies.
As a retired police captain and the director of the Institute for Law Enforcement, Matt Klimp says there has to be a balance because he says there's also a risk in the message restrictive pursuit policies send to criminals.
And if they sense that police officers are not going to chase them, yeah, I do think they get more brazen.
Tonight at 10, we'll follow the path of deadly high-speed chases.
So they were going 100 miles an hour down this road.
And we'll dig into the police data to understand when and why North Texas police officers chase and whether these chases are needed. With the I-Team, Brian New, CBS News, Texas.